Okay, so in addition to buying food that's on sale to eat organic on a budget, I also try and stick to foods that are not very expensive in general. So I try and purchase foods that either are on sale or in general are just cheaper. So like apples are a very inexpensive fruit for the most part, and since I'm getting these for 99 cents a pound, it's just like a great deal. Green onions are another great way to get onions into your diet without spending a lot of money, and they're very versatile. And then things like grapes are really good snacks, and you can get kind of a lot of them per pound. And then like herbs like this cilantro that's on sale. This is actually a leafy green, so I can count that as a leafy green in my diet while also adding a lot of flavor. Now, some foods that are not usually very cheap, I'm going to share with you right now. Avocados. Now, avocados actually do have a lot of nutrition, but they're very expensive for the most part to get organic. So here's an example. These avocados, they're pretty big actually. Like this is actually a pretty large avocado, but this is $3. Okay, so unless you really want to ration your avocado, I would wait till you find a really good deal and then buy avocado then, because $3 for one avocado, that's maybe a quarter of a meal or half a meal or sometimes a whole meal for people, and that's $3 right there. So that's like really expensive. Another thing are fresh tomatoes. When I'm sticking to a budget, I try not to purchase fresh tomatoes because you can get a lot of the same nutrition from canned tomatoes or even tomato paste or tomato powder without actually buying them fresh, because they're actually very expensive fresh. Okay, and then for saving money on salads, what I like to do is I like to build my own salads. Now, there's some salad kits that are on the market right here, like these Taylor Farms and like these let's see, Taylor Farms, Josie's Organics, Earthbound Organics, or Earthbound Farm. They have a lot of salad kits, and those are perfect for busy weeks or for people who don't want to do a lot of meal prep but really want a lot of flavor. My husband really loves salad kits. He'll eat like a whole salad kit a day, but look how expensive they are. This is $5 for one meal. Now you are getting a lot of nutrition in that one bag, but you're paying for the prep of that. And instead, you can get, how much is this? This is 12 ounces of romaine lettuce for buy one, get one half off right now, regularly $4.99. So you could get like 24 ounces of romaine lettuce and just wash that and chop it yourself and save a lot of money. Now, another thing that can be really expensive, it does save you time, are like these meal prep vegetables. These are great for people who cannot meal prep themselves for whatever reason, time, ability, but this costs a lot more. Like, look at this. A bag of shredded carrots here for 8 ounces of carrots is $1.99. That's not even organic. Oh, here, organic shredded carrots, $3.49. This is even smaller. How much is this? 6 ounces of carrots for $3.49. Okay, but if you go over here to the carrots that are not shredded, let me show you how cheap you can get carrots. Carrots are actually a really great, super nutrition dense food that packs like a lot of beta carotene, which is really important for health. But look, I can get a pound of carrots for $1.49. So 6 ounces for $3.49 already shredded, or I can shred these myself, or just not even eat shredded carrots. I could just eat a whole carrot, save myself the time and energy for $1.49 for a pound of carrots. Now, at other places, I've even seen organic carrots even cheaper than that, sometimes for 99 cents a pound. Or actually, even look at this. You can buy a huge bag of carrots organic carrots for $4.99 for 5 pounds, okay? So right here, this is $1 a pound for so much nutrition, and that's way better than buying them already, shredded up. But those are some great tips. Oh, here, this is another thing that's packed with nutrition and is usually pretty cheap. Vegetable is celery. These are on sale right now. Buy one, get one half off. This is perfect because I actually really needed celery. And look at these. These are huge and heavy. And and they look delicious and they're organic. So definitely gonna get 2 of these, but these are great for vegetable soup, vegetable stock. You can put peanut butter and raisins in them and eat them like as a little snack. Those are great for kids. You could do so much with celery, and it's pretty cheap. In general, regularly these are $3, and you can get a lot of celery out of this, but right now at Sprouts, I'm getting them for buy one, get one half off, so I love that. Okay, and look, I'm adding another green food to this beautiful peach colored bag. Okay, and I can't help myself, $5 for a giant bag of carrots. This will save me a lot of energy going to the store to buy carrots for a long time, and these last in the refrigerator for a long time. Okay, another fruit that's packed with nutrition too and is pretty inexpensive are bananas. I like to get organic bananas. Here at Sprouts, they're 99 cents per pound, and you can eat, like I eat 1/2 or 1 whole banana a day, and that's packed with potassium and a lot of other vitamins and minerals. And they're super versatile. You can put them in smoothies, you can put them on toast, you can eat them as just a snack without even any meal prep. You can do so much with bananas and they're really cheap and packed with nutrition. Okay, and strawberries are part of the daily dozen. Also, any other kind of berry. They're packed with antioxidants. A lot of nutrition are found in berries, and especially vitamin C. But a lot of times you can buy them, even when they're on sale, they're still cheaper when they're frozen. So even if you find fresh berries on sale, definitely first check out the frozen section if you don't mind buying them frozen, because they're great for smoothies, and you can thaw them out and eat them like regular, without having them be totally fresh. Fresh berries are so good, but honestly they go so quickly and they're very expensive. So let's go to the frozen section to see. These are 3 pounds for $12. So let's go see how much they cost in the freezer section right now at Sprouts. Okay, another way that I save money by eating organic is I make my own tortillas. I recently purchased a bread machine that allows me to knead the dough without even having to touch the tortillas. But look at this. So this is Mission Organic tortillas, and these are pretty good. They're whole wheat tortillas. There's 6 in here, and these cost $4.79. But I can make tortillas. I can make 8 of them from scratch for just about $1 or $2. Okay, another thing that I avoid when I'm trying to save money on organic food is snacks like this. These are, definitely tempting snacks and drinks and like that, but they really add up. They get really expensive. So like a box of cheddar bunnies that has hidden veggies in it is $4.99 right now for 7.5 ounces. Now, this is very tempting, but honestly, you're gonna spend so much money on this little box of crackers. It's like $5 right there, and I think a lot of people could easily plow through a whole box of crackers. Let's see, this has supposedly 7 servings, but I know I really like crackers and I could eat probably a whole box, but you're not really getting a whole lot of nutrition. Look at this. There's 0 vitamin D, 0 calcium, 0 iron, and 0 potassium. So it's definitely like $5 for very little nutrition is just not worth it in my book. Okay, so here's the organic strawberries. They're not on sale right now at Sprouts, but this is $3.49 for 10 ounces. So since they are on sale fresh, that is probably a little bit of a better deal, but this one actually is already prepared for you and already frozen, so they definitely will last longer than fresh berries. And look at, this is 10 ounces of raspberries for $5.49. Look at this. They also have organic pineapple, 2 pounds for $9.99. Organic pineapple is already chopped up for you and much easier to manage than a giant fresh pineapple, and it's basically the same thing. Okay, since I'm always trying to maximize nutrition in the food that I'm buying, I try to get whole wheat as often as possible for stuff like bread and pasta. Now, this is actually my favorite brand. It's called Delalo. I featured this in other videos on my channel, but I look for this because sometimes I find this on sale. I'm not finding it on sale right now, but it's $4 for a pound of pasta that's whole wheat and organic. This is really great. These elbows are perfect for mac and cheese. There's 8 servings in this container, and look at this, per serving there's iron, potassium, 7 grams of protein. So there's a lot of nutrition in the whole wheat. but let's look at a different package of pasta. I mean, 1 pound is 1 pound regardless of the shape it's cut into. Here's the same brand that is white flour, which I used to prefer more, but to be honest, I stopped eating it, and now I just really love the whole wheat. So I definitely encourage you to try whole wheat if you're kind of shaky on that. But look, less protein, 6 grams of protein, less iron, less potassium. So definitely more bang for your buck here. These are $2.99, and these aren't even organic up here. So I'm definitely gonna stock up on this pasta because they have a really good orzo pasta, elbows, penne pasta, farfalle. This is like a bow tie pasta. They even have capellini and whole wheat and organic and spaghetti. So I'm gonna get probably at least one of each of those. Our family eats a lot of pasta. We eat pasta at least once a week, and one package will feed our family of 4 probably for 2 different meals. So let's get orzo and start filling up our cart. And in general, pasta is a pretty cheap meal. So like I said, 1 pound of pasta for a family of 4 will feed us probably 2 meals, depending on what else I put with it. But so that's $2 per meal for a family of 4. Times 2 for this 1 package of pasta. That's going to give us a lot of iron, protein, and potassium as well. Okay, so like I said earlier, buying tomatoes fresh is definitely a lot more expensive than buying them canned. One thing I don't really like about canned tomatoes is a lot of times they will have citric acid in them, which I just don't like what it does to the tomatoes. It kind of firms them up too much. But my favorite brand, it's not organic, but it's this Cento peeled Italian tomatoes. This is 2 pounds, 3 ounces, and it's actually on sale right now for $4.99, save 50 cents. Here at Sprouts, but this has 9 servings in it. And look at, tomatoes are packed with nutrition. They have a lot of potassium, calcium, iron, even some protein. But I use these peeled tomatoes for pasta sauce, pizza sauce, soups, things like that. And the other thing I like about canned tomatoes is that I can purchase them in bulk and then keep them in my pantry, and they don't go bad as quickly as fresh tomatoes. All right, another thing that I don't buy when I'm trying to stick to a budget is salad dressing. Salad dressing is oftentimes packed with some not so desirable ingredients, but it's also really expensive, you guys. Look at how expensive it can be. Like here, this is an organic Sprouts brand for $4.29. This bottle has 12 servings in it. And that's actually probably one of the cheaper versions of salad dressing, but salad dressing can get so expensive. Look at, here's one for $8.49 for a Caesar dressing. You guys, you can make your own dressing. It's so easy. Salad dressing is basically just some sort of acid, like a vinegar or a lemon juice, mixed with some sort of fat, like creamy, like blended up nuts or olive oil or other type of oil. And then some seasonings, okay? And then some people put mayonnaise in it as well. So definitely save money by not purchasing salad dressing. Okay, here's another example of convenience food costing a lot more instead of just making things from scratch if possible. Like these Annie's macaroni and cheese, these are perfect for like nights when you really don't want to cook and you just dump everything into a pot. But this is regularly $4.99. It has 2.5 servings per box, but look at, we just bought a whole pound of organic whole wheat pasta for $4. And look at, there's very little, well, there's some nutrition. There's calcium, iron, potassium, thiamine in here, and a little bit of protein, but you're not getting any whole grains in this, and it's just a lot more expensive. Okay, here's another convenience food. These are great, like I said, if you don't have time to cook or you have an inability to cook, or these are perfect for emergency foods. But like buying canned soups like this vegetable soup, this is regularly $4.79. One soup says it has 2 servings, but to be honest, you probably would eat like a whole can per person. So that's like a $5 meal right there. But you can make a big pot of vegetable soup with beans and everything for almost even that same price. price. So making things ahead of time, or even chopping things up so you can put it in your Instapot, just definitely saves a lot of money instead of buying soups like this that are already prepared for you. And speaking of soup, if you're planning to make your own soup, just use all the vegetable scraps that you have from your cut up carrots and onions, and just put them in a pot with some water and simmer it for 30 minutes. And you can make basically your own vegetable broth for basically just using scraps of food, instead of spending $5 on a little box which has just 4 cups of vegetable broth in it. One thing I do splurge on is sauces and things like that. Ideally just basic sauces, not like already completely made up sauces, but I buy like soy sauce or rice vinegar, condiments basically, because you can make a lot of different flavors using just a handful of items like this that are already in your pantry, and it'll save you a lot of money without having to buy foods that are prepared with a bunch of seasonings in it, because you're going to spend a lot more money on food that has a bunch of seasonings already in it, instead of just buying food that's plain and seasoning it yourself. So this is a great aisle for getting inspired for flavoring dishes without breaking the bank on organic food. All right, awesome. They have exactly what I came for, and it's on sale. I like this Santa Cruz brand organic pure lemon juice. This is not from concentrate. It's a full bottle. It is pasteurized, so that's one downside, but it is organic, and it's lemon juice for $8.99 for 32 ounces of lemon juice. Okay, you guys, this is a great way to save money. I make lemonade for the kids with stevia extract and lemon juice and water, and it's delicious lemonade without spending a whole bunch of money on a bunch of bottled juices. And here's a really good example of what I was just talking about. Buying bottled juices like this, like lemonade that's already prepared. These are $3 a bottle on sale right now. So instead of spending $9 for an entire jar of just lemon juice and making my own, this bottle has 4 servings. So 4 servings for $3 of lemonade, and it's packed with sugar. Look how much sugar is in this lemonade. And 21 grams of sugar in 1 cup. That's like so much sugar. Instead, I just use a few drops of stevia extract with that lemon juice and water, and I have a whole bunch of lemonade I can make with just that $9 bottle. And here's just one more example of how much more expensive it is to eat prepared food versus making your own food. Obviously, there's a lot more time and energy that it takes to prepare food, but if you can meal prep ahead of time and maybe get some meals in the freezer, like batch prepping, you can save a lot of money. Like, look at this. This is enchiladas. It says almost $22 for a family size serving. That's like $22 for one meal, basically, of enchiladas. And for $21, but you could make your own tortillas, just cook up a pot of rice and beans and put whatever else in it that you want for way less money, and you could probably make 4 of those for the same price. Okay, and if you've watched any of my other videos, I talk a lot about my bread machine and how I love making bread in it. I can make about a loaf of organic whole wheat bread for just about $2 using organic whole wheat flour from Bob's Red Mill, a little bit of this active dry yeast, some olive oil, and some salt and water, and I can make a whole loaf for just like $2. So this bag of active dry yeast is $5.99, and look how many servings, 284 servings. So like, that's a lot of servings in just this one bag for $6. I can just make my own bread and save a ton of money. And these actually last until May 2026, so I'm gonna get 2 of these because I go through a lot of yeast making all that bread for my family. Here's one more example of purchasing prepared food versus buying and making these things yourself. So pancake mix. Pancake mix is great for camping. It's great for emergencies. It's great if you don't have time. But to be honest, pancake mix is basically just a combination of flour, some leavening, some salt, and a little sugar. And you could take a little time ahead of time to make your own mix. I have a video on my channel of how I make my own pancake mix using organic whole wheat flour. In fact, I use this one right here, this Bob's Red Mill organic stone ground whole wheat flour. This is $9.99 for 5 pounds. This one package has 60 servings for $10. So how much is that? That's like, I can't do the math, 60 cents? But you can make a lot of pancake mix for $10 with this if you just add a little bit of leavening like baking powder and baking soda and some salt, a little sugar, and then you go ahead and add the other ingredients that aren't even in the baking mix over here. And this baking mix here, let's see, it's about $8 for, how many pancakes come here? 8 pancakes. Okay, so just, I mean, the price comparison is just insane how much more expensive it is to prepare or to use a prepared pancake mix versus just grabbing this bag right here and whipping up your own giant batch of pancake mix from scratch. Okay, and so basically look how full my cart is. Probably should have gotten the bigger cart, but I really don't like pushing that giant cart around. Anyways, I need to get broccoli because my son requested it. I'm so proud of him for loving broccoli. He likes dipping it in sauces, he said. So let's go get some broccoli. Look at this, let's do a price comparison. Here's organic broccoli, $7.99 for 32 ounces because it's already cut up for you. Let's go see how much the broccoli is when you cut it up yourself. Where is broccoli? Do they have it? I hope so. Oh yeah, okay, over here. $2.99 per pound. So, I mean, it's just definitely a lot cheaper just to buy this. Obviously, if you cannot chop the broccoli yourself or you're low on time, those are time saver things. But I just want to point out that buying things that are just putting a little time and energy into the cooking can actually save you a lot of money, and you can still eat organic on a budget like I do. Okay, let's go see how much all these groceries cost. I did stock up on the lemon juice because I don't want to have to come back to the store for that. And that can stay in my pantry. So can the active dry yeast and all that pasta. But a lot of this produce I'm going to use probably this week or next week. So let's go see how much for this organic food grocery haul here at Sprouts this week. Hey. You want that? Maybe. Okay, so I spent $76.47 and I got a lot of awesome food, all of it organic, or except for the yeast, but most of it organic. And I ended up not getting the grapes because they did look a little bit overripe, so I didn't want to purchase those today. But other than that, I'm really happy with this grocery haul at Sprouts this week. Well, I hope that you all have a great 4th of July weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.